As the director of the Illinois School of Architecture, I wanted to create an initiative, a summer program, an intensive summer program that could benefit from our two resident studios in Barcelona and Chicago, arguably two of the epicenters of architectural culture and production in the world. And that's how the ABC studio, Architecture in Barcelona and Chicago, was born.
The students get a global perspective in a short amount of time. Starting in the Barcelona studio, it is an amazing architecture city. They get exposed to the urban fabric there. And then they come to Chicago and they get to work at the Chicago Architecture Center, where they also get exposed to the urban context as well as the building context.
We did a morphological comparison in which we looked at the block structure of 3 different neighborhoods in Barcelona. And then upon returning to Chicago, we did the same on the near north side as well as on the South Loop area. Those comparisons were remarkable, and the students were able to look at standard things that then are utilized typically as one moves forward in the design process.
The students that participate are undergraduate and graduate students from the University of Illinois, and it's very selective. It is a large privilege to be in this extraordinary program. They work in teams, and each team develops their project from start to finish. So in the end, we have 4 to 5 projects.
The project that the students work on is a co-housing project. Co-housing is a housing type that allows for privacy and individuality while also taking advantage of the ideas of shared spaces. So it's a very sustainable type of housing. It also allows for people to have better coexistence, create community within the buildings, and find friendships and find opportunities to be outside of their unit in places with people that they consider their friends and their neighbors. It's a really wonderful type of housing.
The project is a proposal for a vacant site in the Gold Coast area, and the students design it, a high-rise design.
They started to get a general understanding of the metrics, basically who is living there, all of the stats in that area, and then really tried to understand what the need is for that area. So when they come out of the class, they understand the neighborhood, the needs of the local environment, how to really provide something that the neighborhood needs.
In 4 weeks, they do a project that would be equivalent to what they would have done in a full semester. The importance of the students at this point in their educational career to think about housing is that it is one of the most crucial aspects. It's also about equity. Everyone needs good housing, and showing the students the importance of housing at this stage in their education. They're able to begin to think about the way that cities work and where people live and how they live and how people live together. The idea of creating community through that co-housing project is a special time during their educational process. After the first 2 weeks, there is a midterm review where they formally present their projects to practicing architects we call design critics in the Chicago Architecture Center lecture hall. That is a monumental task for the students. They are all very surprised that that's where they will be presenting. They are nervous, but being there where only the most notable architects get to speak in this lecture hall, the students that get this amazing opportunity to be able to present their projects and be in that scenario that very few are able to ever have.
There was a team that was working on a co-housing project for seniors, and they were studying outside of the studio. They were at a cafe, and they were discussing the project, and someone that was sitting next to them heard their conversation, and it was a senior person. She came over and talked to them about what it would be like to live in a building like this, and she gave her comments and her thoughts, and have you thought about this? Have you thought about how we move through the building, how we create spaces for seniors can be comfortable? So this team came back to the studio with their eyes wide open and just so much excitement about their project. They really brought the project forward once they had a conversation with someone that could potentially be their client or an end user.
What I saw impressive to me was the line work, the plans, the application, and some of the concepts that they grasped from Barcelona started to translate into the ground plans of this project site, whether it be a small garden next to the entrance of the building. But they were taking some of these cues and moments that they had learned about over there. They had made correlations to those types of things here in Chicago, and they started to add them into their project. They love the beautiful environment that they are able to share at the CAC. I think hearing us as real life practitioners who have done these types of projects, all of that actual tangible experience that we can provide to them, I think makes them excited to have this project.
The ABC Studio is a transformational studio for the students. It is a way that the students can travel and see things firsthand and take that experience and apply it directly to a project. It's also a way that the students can be able to experience 2 cities within a 7-week period and be able to do some comparative analysis and best practices of each. In addition to having that experience, they're exposed to being at the Chicago Architecture Center, right at the epicenter of the city, where they can experience the Riverwalk, the buildings, all of the architectural happenings in Chicago. That, in addition to being able to meet so many practicing architects during that process, makes that an extraordinary program that exponentially helps their educational experience.